Lisa stood in the kitchen, the smell of rosemary chicken drifting gently through the air. She glanced at the clock. Koos, 9:28 p.m. Mark would be home in 12 minutes. She straightened the tablecloth, adjusted the candle in the center of the table, then stepped back to study the scene. Nothing fancy, just simple and warm. 2 plates, wine glasses, napkins folded like she used to fold them when they were first married, before the takeout containers, before the silence. She smoothed her blouse. She had chosen the soft blue one he once said brought out her eyes, though that was 20 years ago, and he hadn't looked at her that way in. She couldn't remember when. It was their 35th wedding anniversary. Lisa hadn't reminded him. She didn't leave a note on the fridge or circle it on the calendar. She didn't send a hint through text. Not this year. She just waited. 35 years of shared memories, birthdays, family dinners, losses, mortgage payments, dull Tuesdays and dazzling holidays. Surely he would remember. Surely. The garage door opened. Her heart flinched. Mark stepped in, phone at his ear, briefcase in one hand, already mid-sentence. Yeah, tell the client we'll circle back after the numbers clear. No, we don't need to flag it yet, right? Yep, okay, talk soon. He hung up, loosened his tie, and walked past her without looking. Hey, he mumbled, dropping his bag near the hallway. Anything to eat? Lisa blinked. Yes, dinner's ready. Great, I'm starving. He walked into the kitchen, opened the fridge, pulled out a can of sparkling water, and sat at the table. Not their table, the counter. Lisa stared at him for a long moment. No happy anniversary. No card. No flowers. Not even a glance at the candles burning just for him. She said nothing. She plated the food, brought it over, sat across from him, though he never invited her to. They ate in near silence, broken only by the clink of silverware and the low murmur of a news anchor playing in the background. Mark scrolled his phone, occasionally making a comment about the market or politics. Lisa responded with soft nods, here and there. She was good at that, being present without being noticed. After dinner, he kissed her forehead absently. I'm gonna crash early. Big meeting tomorrow. He disappeared into the bedroom. Lisa remained seated, staring at the empty wine glass across from her. 35 years. She had cooked for him when he was broke. She had kept the lights on, the holidays warm, the house full of kindness even when he came home with nothing but silence. She had smiled through business dinners, raised their 2 children while he chased promotions, and buried her own ambitions beneath layers of patience. And tonight, she was nothing more than the keeper of his dinner. The silence in the house pressed in around her like thick fog. She walked slowly to the bookshelf in the den, reached behind the row of cookbooks, and pulled out a small, navy blue leather-bound notebook. It was her someday journal. Inside were lists, dreams, half-written letters she never sent. One page, dated 3 years ago, caught her eye. It was written after he forgot their 32nd anniversary. If he forgets again next year, I'll take 1 suitcase and go to the coast. Just for a week. Just to see what it feels like to be missed. He had forgotten 3 more times since then. Lisa closed the journal. She stood up, walked quietly into the bedroom, and packed a small suitcase. No noise. No note. She moved like a woman who had been practicing her exit for years. She took her toothbrush, her journal, 1 favorite sweater, and her passport, just in case she decided to go farther than she ever dared before. Before stepping out the door, she looked around the living room. It was clean, tidy, sterile. Nothing of her truly lived here anymore. On the kitchen counter, she left behind a single folded slip of paper. It said, I've been invisible for so long. I need to find out what it's like to be seen. Don't look for me. I'm not lost. Then she walked out. No slamming of doors. No tears. No drama. Just a woman reclaiming her name before it vanished completely. Lisa drove for hours. She didn't have a destination. She had a direction away. Away from the kitchen table with its silent dinners. Away from the man who hadn't looked at her fully in years. away from a home that had become a museum of a marriage long gone cold. The freeway unfurled beneath her headlights like a ribbon pulling her forward. She finally stopped in a small coastal town she remembered visiting once on a family vacation, decades ago. Back when the kids were young and Mark still held her hand in public. The town hadn't changed much, still quiet, still friendly. She found a room at a modest bed and breakfast, with faded floral curtains and the faint scent of lavender. The owner, a widow named Marianne, didn't ask too many questions. She handed Lisa a key and said, "Stay as long as you need. No pressure here." Lisa thanked her and carried her suitcase to the second floor. The room was small but bright. A little desk by the window, a soft armchair, a bed just big enough for one person who finally didn't have to share. She exhaled deep, trembling. It was the first breath she had taken for herself in years. The first few days felt strange, not sad, just still. She walked the beach every morning barefoot, letting the cold waves lick her ankles. She bought coffee from the same cafe each afternoon and read novels she never finished back home because Mark always needed the remote or dinner or quiet. No one in town knew she was anyone's wife. No one called her Mrs. Armstrong. Here, she was just Lisa. And strangely, that felt like a beginning. On her fourth day, Lisa wandered into a second-hand bookstore tucked between a bakery and a florist. It smelled like dust, old paper, and time well spent. She ran her fingers over the cracked spines until one title stopped her. When Women Walk Away, Essays on Midlife Liberation. She smiled not bitterly, but knowingly. The woman behind the counter, short gray curls, purple glasses, and a voice that sounded like chamomile said, "That one's good, real good. Makes you want to take off your shoes and stomp on the life you left behind." Lisa chuckled. "I already did that part. Now I'm just trying to remember how to walk forward." The woman introduced herself as Clara. They talked for 20 minutes, then an hour, then exchanged numbers. By the end of the week, Clara had invited Lisa to a weekly journaling group held in the back room of the shop. "You don't have to be a writer," she said. "You just have to be a woman with something to say." Lisa smiled. "I might have a lot to say. I just forgot how to say it." That night, Lisa sat at the little desk by the window and opened her someday journal again. But this time she didn't write someday. She wrote now. "This morning, I walked alone along the water and didn't check my phone once. I bought a croissant just for me. I read for hours. And no one needed me. And I didn't feel guilty. I felt whole. Not because someone noticed me, but because I noticed myself." Tears slipped down her cheeks, not from sadness, but from release. All those years, she'd waited for someone to ask how she was. Now she was finally answering the question for herself. On her 7th day away, she turned off her phone completely. Not just silence off. No missed calls. No half-hearted texts from Mark saying, "Where are you?" with no question mark. She didn't need permission to be where she was. She went to Clara's journaling group that night. Sat in a circle with 7 women, most over 50, all with stories folded neatly between their lines. Some had left marriages. Some were grieving. Some were simply tired. When it was Lisa's turn to read, she hesitated. Then she opened her notebook and began. "I didn't slam the door. I didn't yell. I just packed a bag and walked out of a life where I disappeared daily. And that's the lowest thing I've ever done." When she looked up, no one clapped. But 6 pairs of eyes met hers with silent, stunned recognition. She was not alone. Not anymore. Back in the room, Lisa wrote one last line before bed. "I thought I left to be alone. But maybe I left to finally belong somewhere where I didn't need to vanish to be loved." She slept that night with the window cracked open, the ocean whispering at her ear. And for the first time in years, she dreamed about herself not as a wife, not as a role, but as a woman becoming whole. It was a Thursday morning when Clara handed Lisa a flyer. Poetry reading. Open mic night. Anyone can read, Clara smiled, including women who've just rediscovered their voice. Lisa laughed softly, shaking her head. I haven't read a poem aloud since college. Perfect, Clara said, patting her shoulder. That means you still remember how it feels. Lisa folded the flyer into her journal and went home. That evening, she opened the page she'd been returning to each night. The poem had no title, just a rhythm her hands remembered better than her mind did. She stared at the last line she'd scribbled the night before. She became visible the moment she stopped waiting to be invited. She whispered it aloud. It made her stomach flutter. Maybe that's what truth feels like, dangerous and freeing all at once. 2 days later, Lisa sat in a folding chair at the back of the bookstore turned reading room. It smelled of candle wax, cinnamon, and nervous energy. Clara opened the night with a poem about grief and peach jam. Then a younger woman read about losing herself in motherhood. Then an older woman shared a haiku she had written on the back of a grocery list. And then it was Lisa's turn. Her heart pounded, hands damp, voice trembled. But her legs walked to the front of the room like they knew it was time. She unfolded the poem slowly and looked out at the audience. Mostly women, mostly quiet. But they looked right at her. No one checked their phone. No one looked past her to see who was next. And Lisa began. She never slammed a door. She just stopped turning the handle. One night, she left the house like a whisper. And no one noticed until the silence got too loud to ignore. Her voice shook only once when she reached the final stanza. She had never been angry, only forgotten. But one day, she remembered herself. And that was the loudest thing she'd ever done. Silence. Then soft applause. And one woman in the back stood up, tears in her eyes, and said, "That poem was about me, and I didn't even know it until now." Lisa blinked, then smiled. Wide, free, and for the first time in decades, she felt seen. Not because of who she belonged to, but because of what she had to say. The next morning, Clara called her with a tone of urgency. "That poem, you need to submit it," she said. "I have a friend who edits a women's journal. They're looking for pieces by women over 50. Honest pieces." Lisa hesitated. "I haven't published anything since I was Lisa Green. Before I was anyone's wife. Then, maybe it's time to bring her back." Lisa did. She submitted the poem under the name Lisa Green. And 2 weeks later, she received a reply. "Your poem is extraordinary. It will be featured in our summer issue. Please include a short bio." Lisa stared at the screen. A bio? Who was she now? She typed. Lisa Green is a woman rediscovering herself at Visa Kumentakahtiksan. She writes from the sea, from silence, and from the joy of reappearing. She didn't tell Mark. She hadn't checked his messages. She assumed there were some, probably voicemails, maybe emails, but she wasn't ready to return to being explained or managed. Besides, something new was blooming. After the journal published her piece, Lisa received an email from a podcast producer who had read it. Would she be willing to come on and talk about the experience of disappearing and reemerging? Lisa agreed, thinking maybe Koksisata people might listen. The episode aired a week later. By the next morning, her inbox was full. Hundreds of women. Different states. Different ages. One message said, "I left at Kuwasikimente. I never thought I'd hear someone put it into words. Thank you." Another. "My daughter sent me your poem. She said, 'Mom, this is you.' And she's right." And this one. "I'm Kuwasikimente Saitsaman. My husband doesn't even know my favorite color. But now I do. It's time." Lisa read every single one. She didn't reply to them all. But in a quiet way, each note replied to something deep in her, something that had been waiting to be answered for years. That evening, she returned to the beach. Waves lapped at her ankles. The sky stretched pink and orange over the horizon. She thought of the girl she had been, the woman she became, and the version of herself no whole, awake, no longer apologizing for the space she took up. She whispered to the ocean, "Thank you for letting me disappear, so I could remember how to return." And the wind carried her voice farther than she ever imagined. Lisa had just finished her morning walk when she saw the envelope tucked into the doorframe of the little cottage she rented. No postage. No name. Just one word in familiar handwriting. Lisa. Her breath caught. She opened it slowly, fingers trembling slightly not from fear, but from the weight of inevitability. I've tried calling. I know you're safe. The kids told me you're okay. But Lisa, I don't understand. Why didn't you just say something before you left? I didn't even get the chance to fix it. Mark. No apology. No acknowledgement of the anniversary. Just confusion and discomfort at being left behind. Lisa folded the letter and placed it on the small writing desk. She wasn't angry. She was done. That afternoon, she received a phone call from her daughter, Rachel. Mom, are you really not coming back? Lisa took a deep breath. I don't know, she said honestly. I didn't leave to punish anyone. I left to remember how it feels to belong to myself. There was silence on the other end. Then Rachel whispered, I think I understand that now. Dad doesn't. He's a mess, Mom. But maybe it's the first time he realizes how much of you he took for granted. Liza sat with that. Let it settle. I hope he does, she said. But I'm not his teacher. That's not my job anymore. Rachel began to cry softly. I miss you, Mom, but I'm proud of you. Lisa's voice broke, but she smiled through it. That means everything. 2 days later, Clara invited Lisa to attend a panel for midlife women writers at a small regional conference. Lisa hesitated, still not fully used to being seen. But Clara looked her straight in the eye and said, You spent 35 years being quiet. It's okay to speak now, loudly if you want. Lisa agreed. The day of the panel, she wore a simple navy blue dress, minimal makeup, and brought a single page of notes, though what she would say was already pulsing beneath her skin. When it was her turn to speak, Lisa looked out at the audience. Women, dozens of them, some with notebooks, some with tears already brimming. She spoke slowly, clearly. I didn't leave because of a fight. I didn't leave because of one forgotten anniversary. I left because one day I looked at my reflection and didn't see anyone. And I realized I had let myself disappear. But here's the thing. You don't need permission to reappear. You only need to remember that you're still here. The room erupted into applause, not polite, but emotional, like release. That night, her inbox doubled. Her podcast episode had reached over 20,000 downloads. One publishing house reached out. Would she consider expanding her poems into a book? Lisa wrote back, Yes, but only if I can keep the title, The Invisible Wife. Because it's not just my story. It's a mirror for too many women. A week later, Mark showed up. He didn't call first. He didn't ask. Lisa saw him through the front window, standing on the gravel path in his neatly ironed shirt, holding a copy of the poetry journal that had first published her. She opened the door but didn't invite him in. He looked older. Not because of time, but because of consequence. I read it, he said, holding the journal like a fragile artifact. I know. You wrote about us. I wrote about me, Lisa said calmly. You just happened to be in the story. Mark's voice cracked. I didn't mean to make you feel invisible. You didn't make me, she said. I agreed to it. Silently. For a long time, but I don't agree anymore. He looked at her like he didn't know whether to cry or apologize. I don't know how to fix it, he whispered. Lisa took a deep breath. That's because it's not yours to fix. It's mine to live. He nodded slowly, eyes full of something too late. Before he turned to leave, he asked, Will I see you again? Lisa didn't answer. She didn't owe him a yes. Or a no. Just her silenzione finally chosen. That evening, Lisa sat by the window with her journal, the ocean whispering in rhythm with her pen. She wrote, He noticed me only after I became someone the world was listening to. But I didn't leave to be noticed. I left so I could listen to myself again. And in the quiet, I finally heard the woman I was always meant to be. She closed the journal and watched the sky melt into dusk. There was nothing dramatic. No confrontation. No slammed doors. Just a woman who had learned how to stay gone and grow. It started with a single poem. Now Lisa was receiving invitations she never imagined: women's conferences, podcast interviews, guest essays in national magazines. Her words had found their way into the hearts of strangers. Women from all over were writing to her. "Your story is mine. I didn't know how invisible I was until you said it out loud. Thank you for going first. And perhaps the most painful one, I'm still in that kitchen, Lisa. Still hoping he looks up." Lisa read them all. Some days, she cried. Other days, she lit a candle and whispered their names. But always, she wrote back short, gentle replies that said, "You are not alone, and it's not too late." The publishing house officially offered her a book deal, not just a poetry collection, but a memoir. A full account of how one woman disappeared without a sound and returned louder than ever. Lisa hesitated at first, not out of fear, but out of reverence. She wanted to do it right. She wasn't interested in revenge or blame. She wanted to write a pathway for any woman who had been left behind in the room she built. Clara celebrated with a bottle of red wine and 2 mismatched glasses. "This time," she said, raising her glass, "you don't need anyone else to speak for you." Lisa clinked her glass. "I finally realized I was worth hearing." The memoir took months to write. Some days, Lisa wrote for hours. Other days, she stared at the sea and just let herself feel. The hardest chapter was the one about the night she left. Not because it was painful she had made peace with it, but because she finally saw herself clearly. She hadn't been selfish. She had been starving. And walking away had been the first full breath she'd taken in years. The final chapter ended with her walking barefoot across the sand, alone but not lonely, whispering thank you to the tide for giving her back her own rhythm. Months later, Lisa's memoir was published. The Invisible Wife, How I Left Quietly and Found My Voice, hit shelves nationwide. The cover was simple, a blurred photo of an empty chair, backlit by morning light. Within 2 weeks, it climbed the bestseller list in women's nonfiction. She was invited on national morning shows. One anchor said, "Your story made me put down my phone and really look at my husband for the first time in years." Lisa smiled and replied, "Sometimes we don't need fireworks to wake up. Just silence deep enough to finally hear ourselves." Soon after, she was asked to host a retreat for women over Visakhimanta called Visible Again. It was held in a converted farmhouse on a hill overlooking the ocean. Lisa created the program herself, journaling, sunrise meditations, shared meals with no small talk, only real talk. On the last night, the women sat around a fire pit, each one sharing what they had reclaimed. One said, "My time." Another said, "My laugh." A third whispered, "My right to want more." When it was Lisa's turn, she smiled and said, "I reclaimed my name." And they all clapped, not politely, but as if they had all remembered something they'd long forgotten about themselves. Back in her cottage, Lisa received another message from Mark. "I read the book. I cried on page 996. I stopped halfway through to apologize out loud, even though you couldn't hear me. I wish I had seen you sooner, but I'm grateful the world finally does." Lisa closed the message. She didn't feel bitterness. She didn't feel pride. She just felt done. Not with him, with needing his acknowledgement. Her voice now belonged to Herend, to the women who had waited too long to speak. At the next retreat, a woman approached Lisa holding a worn copy of the book, pages dog-eared and underlined. She whispered, "You didn't just change my life. You reminded me it was mine to begin with." Lisa hugged her, gently, firmly. And in that moment she knew she hadn't disappeared. She had simply taken a detour back to herself. And now, she was guiding others through the same path. The spotlight was warm on Lisa's skin. Not harsh, not blinding, just enough to let her feel where she stood. She looked out at the audience, hundreds of women, many with silver streaks in their hair, laughter lines around their eyes, and notepads on their laps. This was the keynote session of the Women Rewritten Summit, and Lisa Greenan's Invisible, once silent, was the closing speaker. She stood behind the podium for a moment, breathing in the room. Then she smiled. No notes, no script, just the truth. 3 years ago, I walked out the door on my 35th wedding anniversary without a single word. Not because I was angry, not because of a fight, but because I couldn't remember the last time someone looked at me and saw a whole person. I had become background noise, a shadow behind someone else's story. A murmur of understanding rippled through the room. I didn't leave to be dramatic. I left because I had already disappeared and I just wanted to know if I still existed without being someone's wife, someone's mother, someone's dinner maker. Lisa's voice never cracked. It didn't need to. It carried the quiet power of a woman who had sat with herself long enough to become unshakable. What I found out there by the ocean was not freedom from responsibility or the absence of love. What I found was presence. My own. She stepped from behind the podium and walked to the front of the stage. Some of you left too. Some of you are still sitting at the dinner table, waiting to be seen. And some of you haven't even realized yet that you're invisible. She looked out into the crowd, softer now. This story isn't just mine. It's ours. It's a reminder that you don't have to scream to be heard. You don't have to be angry to change everything. Sometimes, the most radical thing a woman can do is walk away quietly and write herself back in. The applause started slowly, then rose, then roared. Not because she said something clever, but because she had named what so many women had been carrying in silence. Backstage, after the talk, Lisa sat on a couch with her shoes off and a cup of tea in her hands. She was tired, but not drained. Two women approached her. One was in her 70s. The other, maybe early 30s. They were mother and daughter. The older woman whispered, "I was your age when I stopped dreaming. She's your age now. Thank you for helping us both remember." Lisa hugged them both, long and without words. That night, alone in her hotel room, Lisa sat at the desk by the window, just like she had in the seaside cottage years ago. She opened her journal, the one she had once called Someday. She flipped to the last page, then wrote, "I'm not writing from pain anymore. I'm writing from place, from presence, from power. I was never truly invisible. I just forgot that I had the right to be seen without asking." She closed the journal. Outside, the city lights shimmered. Inside, Lisa smiled, not because of what she'd accomplished, but because of who she had become. Not a wife. Not a name on someone's emergency contact form. Not a title behind a man's success. But a woman who walked away from silence and built a stage out of her story. Lisa's journey reminds us that the most powerful moment in a woman's life might not be when she's praised or chosen, but when she finally chooses herself. So if you've ever felt like Lisa-like wallpaper in your own home, know this: it's never too late to walk away quietly and write yourself back into the story. Tell me in the comments, have you ever felt invisible in your own life? Tupkoksi if Lisa's story moved you. Tupasaitsaman if you've lived it. 60. Like, comment, and subscribe to Revenge with Emma for more stories where women over to stop fading and start reclaiming.